Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a massive, high stakes battle currently unfolding in India. It's this wild clash between messaging app privacy on one side and national security and digital identity on the other. I mean, if you use WhatsApp, Telegram, or Signal to text your friends, family, or coworkers, this battle directly affects who gets to see your digital footprint. And trust me, the ripple effects of what's happening right now, we're going to feel them worldwide. Okay, let's dive into this, because at the heart of this entire debate is one massive philosophical question that we literally all need to ask ourselves. How much privacy is too much privacy? We're kind of being forced to answer that right now. Why? Because the Meta-owned giant, WhatsApp, recently announced they're bringing usernames to the app. But almost immediately, the Indian government pushed back hard, heavily questioning the move and eventually issuing notices to Telegram and Signal as well. Now, what's really interesting about this data is the sheer unbelievable scale of the issue. Just look at the numbers here. You've got WhatsApp absolutely dominating the Indian market with over 800 million users. Telegram has around 100 million, and Signal is sitting at roughly a million. When a regulatory change hits platforms of this size, it literally impacts almost a billion people. It fundamentally shifts how an entire nation communicates, shops, and interacts with both businesses and the government. We are talking about the primary communication infrastructure for one of the most populated countries on Earth. So what exactly is the government pushing back against? Well, it's what we can call the username revolution. For privacy advocates, usernames are seen as a huge, long overdue win. Because honestly, why should you have to hand over your personal, private phone number just to join a group chat or message someone discreetly? Telegram has actually supported usernames since way back in 2014. Signal introduced them as an option in 2024, and now WhatsApp is attempting to bring them to their massive user base, aiming to finally decouple our identities from our SIM cards. And this brilliantly illustrates why people want this change so badly. A phone number with a +91 country code is essentially a digital anchor. It ties directly to your real-world identity, your bank accounts, and your exact physical location. But a username, it is completely borderless and untraceable. This lets users chat discreetly, which is absolutely crucial for preventing harassment, stalking, and massive personal data leaks. For so many vulnerable people, privacy isn't some fancy luxury. It is a vital necessity for their daily safety. But hold on a second. Here is where we hit a massive roadblock in the narrative. While hiding your phone number sounds like an absolute win for everyday users who just want a bit more privacy, the Indian government has an entirely different take. They are demanding immediate answers from these platforms, formally asking them to explain the safeguards around any feature that allows users to conceal their phone numbers. This regulatory oversight is escalating incredibly fast, and it all hinges on a very dark, very expensive reality happening on the ground right now. See, India is currently battling a terrifying epidemic of online fraud, most notably the infamous digital arrest scams. Just imagine this scenario for a second. You get an unexpected video call from someone posing as the police. They're wearing a fake uniform, sitting in a room meticulously designed to look exactly like a police station. They forcefully convince you that you're under federal investigation for a serious crime, and they demand money to clear your name. Naturally, people panic when they see a police uniform on a video call. Their critical thinking shuts down, and millions of dollars have already been drained through these highly orchestrated, terrifying traps. So, what happens if we give those very same scammers another impenetrable layer of anonymity? That is precisely what terrifies the government. They see three core threats here: complete anonymity, which makes spotting and tracking fraudsters incredibly hard, the severe risk of impersonating public figures or government agencies, and a total traceability nightmare for local law enforcement trying to track down exactly where that extorted money is going. Let's look really closely at that impersonation threat, because it is incredibly insidious. As one observer accurately noted, a scammer doesn't even need to reinvent the wheel here. Just borrow a famous name, change a single letter or add an underscore, and voila. In a country where digital literacy is super uneven, ranging from highly expert engineers to millions of first-time internet users, handles that look alike pose a massive threat. It just doesn't take much for users to get confused and hand over sensitive information to a tweaked, deceptive username posing as their bank or trusted official. And then there's the traceability nightmare. Currently, a +91 phone number gives investigators an anchor, a starting point to loop in local telecom operators and track the signal. But with usernames, geography becomes entirely cosmetic. Actually, scratch that, it's more like a digital costume. A fraudster sitting literally anywhere on the planet can buy a cheap, temporary virtual number online, slap a crisp-looking official Indian government logo on their profile, and pick a convincing local name.
They create this digital costume that's familiar on the outside, but completely untraceable underneath. The victim has absolutely no idea the scammer is operating from thousands of miles away. To make matters even worse, there is a critical speed issue for cyber officials trying to solve these cases before the money vanishes. Currently, it takes Meta anywhere from 5 days to an indefinite period to process data requests from Indian law enforcement. If you lose the immediate visibility of a local phone number, it doesn't just slow things down. In a fast-moving financial scam, 5 days is a lifetime. The money's gone long before then, effectively paralyzing investigations where every single minute matters. So how are the tech companies responding to this immense regulatory pressure? Well, Meta isn't just backing down. They are actively trying to defend their upcoming username feature against these exact government concerns. They're arguing that privacy and security don't have to be mutually exclusive. They truly believe they can implement technological compromises to keep users safe from scammers, while still offering the undeniable privacy benefits of hidden phone numbers. Let's move to ANS and see how this builds. Meta has actually outlined an impressive 4-layered defense protocol to act as a shield. Step 1, there will be no public directory, meaning scammers can't just randomly browse a list of active usernames to target. Step 2, they're reserving specific VIP usernames belonging to public figures, brands, and government entities to prevent easy impersonation. Step 3 involves contextual warnings, and Step 4 introduces a powerful tool called username keys. Let's actually pause on that third step because it's a fascinating piece of behavioral design. When someone messages you for the very first time, WhatsApp plans to display contextual warnings right on your chat screen. It'll prompt you with critical questions like, is this account brand new? Are they messaging from another country? Do you share any mutual groups? The app essentially creates digital friction. It forces you to take a breath, look at the warning, and pause before trusting a random stranger. And then there's the fourth layer, the username key. You can think of this as a password-like barrier. Even if a scammer somehow guesses or figures out your exact username, they still can't just message you out of the blue. They'd need a secret PIN or alphanumeric code that you have to share with them offline or on another platform first. It serves as the final absolute wall built between vulnerable users and potential spam, giving you total control over who gets to initiate contact. So we are left looking at the ultimate privacy dilemma. On one hand, phone numbers reveal real-world identities and enable terrible things like harassment and stalking. So reducing that exposure is undeniably a positive step for personal security. But on the other hand, India's exploding cyber fraud concerns are absolutely not imaginary. Millions of first-time internet users are coming online every single year, and they are highly vulnerable to these sophisticated, visually convincing attacks. It is a genuine tug of war. Just to give you an idea of how seriously the local tech industry is taking this specific threat, check out this recent development. Amid all this regulatory scrutiny, Zoho's co-founder Sridhar Vembu recently announced that his homegrown messaging app, Aratai, will halt the use of usernames entirely. When even pro-tech industry leaders are hitting the brakes on this feature, it perfectly illustrates just how severe local industry leaders consider this vulnerability to be for their own user base. It brings us to a stark truth that underlines this whole debate. Technology may be global, but crime is deeply local. Because of this reality, WhatsApp's username feature currently remains frozen in India. Telegram and Signal are actively answering uncomfortable government notices, and Meta may actually be forced to build entirely India-specific safeguards before usernames can be fully rolled out in the country. The global standard simply might not work for local realities. So, the crucial point is this. As we navigate the complex future of digital identity, the toughest question isn't whether technology can make us anonymous, it's whether it can make us anonymous without making scammers invisible. It's a really delicate balancing act between essential personal privacy and necessary national security. Definitely think about that the next time you boot up your messaging apps. Thanks for joining this explainer, and we'll see you next